I'll hop into it. This is the Onyx app, and if you don't know Onyx, it's a hunting app. I've used it for a few years now. This has no affiliation with it. I have no affiliation with it. I just like it. It's free. You can also get a paid version that's like $70 a year, I want to say. But the purpose of this video is to show you how to find possible properties that you could purchase to homestead on using the Onyx app. And I also use Facebook Marketplace, which I'll make another video on that. But right now I'm focusing on the general Kansas City area, since this is where we live. All these bubbles, this is the town that we live in. It's 45 minutes northwest, or about 45 minutes to an hour northwest of Kansas City. And so we'll focus on here since that's what I'm familiar with. So the first step that you're going to want to do is find areas that are off of a road. That sounds silly, but believe me, if you're as desperate as I was when I first started looking, you're going to look for stuff that's like way out here with no city around it, nothing. And if that's what you want, then go for it. But a good rule of thumb is just kind of basing it off of where a road is. Then you know that you'll have utilities at least nearby. And it doesn't have to be a major road, it can be one of these like side roads. But yeah, I'd recommend just trying to do somewhere that you've at least been to or driven near. You don't want to just put offers on land that you've never even been to. I would not recommend it. Believe me, like I said, I've been desperate and been there before trying to get just anything that you're willing to put offers on, just about any plot of land. But I would not recommend that. So here we are right here. I'll just show you an example. When you're in Onyx, due to their privacy policy, they won't let you you can't show who owns what lot and post it anywhere. So I have to basically just have it as a map, but it'll still be useful, and I'll do my best. I'll put up a picture to the right of what it'll look like, kind of to simulate what it'll look like when you're using Onyx. But let's say we're zoomed in on this area. Say we're looking at this property right here, just right to the left of this 59 highway. So you click on it, and then it'll bring up this information so I'll put it on the left, not the right, but it'll bring up this information on the left, and that'll show you scroll down a little bit and you'll see where it says property tax address. Now this is key right here. This is what you're gonna look for. If that property tax address is the same as the address that you're clicking on, so this address is in Rushville, Missouri, this property tax address is also in Rushville, Missouri, we're gonna ignore it. That basically just means this person most likely lives here on this property. We're not gonna focus on it. So we move on to another one. I have this one bubbled because this is one that I'm currently reaching out about. So we click on this one and you see it says the property tax address is in Utah. So that's huge. This property itself is located in Missouri, but the property tax, where the property tax bill is sent to and who pays the property tax, is located in Utah. That tells us a couple things. Either it's a company that's based out of Utah, like an LLC, which this one is not, as we can see, or the person who owns it lives in Utah and just has this property here for some reason. And that typically, from what I've learned through reaching out to over 100 people, through sending letters in the mail and calling, is that most of the time they inherited that property, and sometimes they don't even know that they inherited it, but they inherited that property from a parent or whoever, and they just don't have an interest in it because they live somewhere else, or they just are keeping that property, and sometimes if it's a farm field, they're renting it out to someone and they live somewhere else. But that's really what you want to look for. If that property tax address is different than the address that you're inquiring about, that is a huge green flag. And then from then, I would make mail a physical letter. I know, who does that these days? But you're not going to give it to a pigeon. You're going to actually give it to the post office, and you're gonna write a physical letter, just introducing yourself. I can make another video on that. Introducing yourself, trying to keep it short, trying to keep it personable, saying who you are. And I think a big note that I've noticed in who I get responses from is saying that you're not going to turn this into some sort of development. You're not going to turn it into a neighborhood, because especially these farm owners, the average farmer is over 60 years old, and a lot of them don't want their farmland that they've been farming for generations, or that their family has been farming for generations. They don't want it to turn into some suburban development. So a lot of them, even if they're not interested in selling you their land, a lot of the ones that I've come across who have responded have been appreciative that we want to do a homestead on it. And then to also just include in that letter that if they're not interested, if they know someone else who might be, that you'd be happy to talk to them. Yeah, those are really the main key points. But again, so you just click on that property and you check if that property tax is the same as that property's address. Then just leave it alone, mark it off your list, and then go on to the next one. If that next one, the property tax address is different, then go ahead and inquire about it. And I highly recommend sending physical mail. You can do text, you can do Facebook. I've done Facebook Messenger, I've done text, I've done calls, I've done physical mail. Easily the one that has the highest response rate is the physical mail. Of course, that means you are going to take up more of your time, but I mean, this is to ask, think about what you're doing here. You are asking a landowner for property that isn't publicly listed anywhere, which means they probably haven't really considered selling it, and you would most likely buy it for under the market value of that property. You look at the ones on Zillow, those are pretty top dollar, especially around like Kansas City area, like we are. But yeah, you want to just use these other methods that people aren't using. And especially if you are like us and you're trying to stay as affordable as possible. Our budget is around $30,000, and remember, that's a land alone. So I can make a video on that of how we're trying to do that, but our budget for land is around $30,000 for a 15 or 10-year loan, and $30,000 $30,000 would be around $270 a month for a 15-year. So that's, obviously if you're making like well below poverty, that might be tough to make, but I could almost guarantee all of us have $270 that we spend on just pointless things, eating out, fast food, subscriptions, whatever. I know our family has that, so that's where we're coming from. And it also just thinking about like, how much does this matter to you? Are you willing to sacrifice some things to make it happen? And if not, then I probably, wouldn't look into it. But if you are willing to sacrifice some things, then I think it's certainly worth looking into. But yeah, that's about the video. I wish I could show exactly everything that Onyx has with the property lines and tax address and everything, but it would be against their privacy policy. Oh, dead man's hole. Maybe we'll look there. Just kidding. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I'm a bit rusty with it. This is my first ever YouTube video. I don't even have an Instagram or anything, but we just made one. So our main goal is just to process, or just show the process and the journey as we go from having no land to hopefully getting land using this exact process. This is the exact process that I'm using. Onyx, Facebook Messenger, sending physical letters. And I started in August. I haven't had any luck in terms of actually buying anyone's property, but I have had responses, and I have one that's in the works right now who she said she had to check with the farmers who are renting it from her. And so I'll keep you guys posted on that.